Hello everyone, and thank you for joining. Today we're going to talk about porcelain tiles for outdoor design. My name is Francesco Sereni. I am the London-based architectural sales representative, and today I'm here with my colleague Pietro. If you have any questions during the presentation, please just drop in the chat, and we'll try and answer directly for you. Today, we're going to talk about porcelain for outdoor design, and today's topics will be a very, very quick company presentation. We'll see the advantages of porcelain pavers for outdoor design. We're going to go in a little bit of detail, talking about technical characteristics, a little bit of health and safety, a little bit of environmental responsibility, and the practical advantages, obviously, of installing porcelain pavers, and a quick project overview to give you an idea of what you can do with our material. So very quickly, Atlas Concorde is an international porcelain and ceramic tile manufacturer. We are based in northern Italy, which especially in Modena. We have two manufacturing sites, one for porcelain and one for ceramic. Moreover, we have a production site in Moscow and another one in the US, in Tennessee. So overall production capacity is around 6 or 7 million square meters per month. So really high quality porcelain in a lot of quantity. We are present in 150 countries around the world. So we are familiar with working in international projects. So this is a very quick image of our company in Italy. This is the porcelain production site. And a quick few numbers to get to know Atlas Concorde a little bit better. So our turnover was around 300 million last year. We have more than 600 employees and over 3,000 customers in 150 countries. So why is it that we're talking about porcelain pavers for outdoor design, and why is it a hot topic? So what we've seen in the last period, a year and a half back, is that due to COVID restrictions, private homeowners have increased a lot their request for upgrading their outdoor premises. So it's been a big thing going in the last year. Also, going from commercial businesses, they understood the necessity of implementing their outdoor premises. So also there we had a lot more requests for outdoor design and porcelain tiles. Even contractors and residential developers requested sort of dedicated more attention to their outdoor design application, and even there, porcelain came in the game very easily. So we can see that a new trend is being delineated on the horizon, and porcelain stoneware applications are a popular solution to bind indoor and outdoor design concepts. So at the end of the day, you can have indoor paving, indoor walls, all coordinated with also the outdoor. So there is a big advantage of a continuity of design in your project. So there are four main powerful advantages of porcelain pavers for outdoor design, and we're going to touch a few key aspects, which are going to be the technical characteristics, health and safety, eco-friendliness, and some practical advantages, obviously in respect to natural materials. So why is it that porcelain is better in respect to natural materials? So the technical characteristics, what are we talking about? Why is it that porcelain is so interesting for designers? First things up is it's completely waterproof. So the porosity of the material itself is actually 0.05%. It means it is completely unabsorbent. It does not absorb water. This means that not absorbing water, if there's freezing temperatures outside, is most likely not going to crack. So our material is completely waterproof, certified, frost resistant, certified, resistant to thermal shock. So for example, you can just put a boiling pot on top of a porcelain tile, or you can install it where there's a big delta variance of temperature in the ambient around. So you can have like plus 50 degrees during daytime and minus a few degrees in the evening, and the porcelain tile will still withstand properly the variance of temperature. Our material especially is scratch resistant, so it's very resistant to wear and tear, unlike other natural materials. It is stain resistant, so you can, as you can see here in the image, you can put coffee, wine, lemon, anything you imagine dropped on top of a porcelain tile can be very, very easily cleaned just because it's not absorbent. If there is something a little bit, let's say, more stubborn, more hard to wash off, we have specific products to help you with this issue. But 90% of the time, it's very easy to clean. So it is also resistant to chemical agents. So for example, imagine designing a pool. Porcelain tiles are unabsorbent, resistant to chlorine, and resistant to salt. They resist also acid. So imagining a detergent in, for example, a hotel environment, you can use almost any detergent, which is not, and it's not going to damage our surface. And UV resistant means it doesn't change color over time. So for example, if you're installing a natural wood or a natural stone, it's most likely going to change its aspect over the years, whether porcelain tiles on the other side are not. So this is a CPD. We're going to have to give a little bit of technical information, and we're going to start from the manufacturing process. So Atlas Concorde selects 100% natural materials. This means that natural materials we select come from quarries that are owned by the company. The natural material itself doesn't have within it any heavy metals, any volatile organic compounds, any plastics of any kind. So the selection process is actually quite strict. And then after that, when the material gets delivered inside the company, we have a stocking area, which you can see in the top image over here. And after that, there is the mixing and grinding process. So what happens is that all the material gets in the production line, and it gets mixed with water to make it, more easy to work, and it gets grinded down to a specific size. So after that, what happens is after the grinding moment, the material gets dried. And after that, again, it gets pressed in the shape that we want. So after this drying and pressing process, we have the decoration part. So when the tile has got its shape, it passes through a very high definition printer, which with 8 tones of color, this lays on the surface the correct and high definition print. And after that, we have the firing of the tiles itself. So when we're talking about porcelain tiles for outdoor, the firing goes up to 1,250 degrees. This means that the material itself melts and then compacts really, really hard. So it's really hard to wear and tear. Really resistant material, printed in a very high definition, and it also has very good technical characteristics, which are obviously the fire resistance. So the porcelain tiles are classified A1, fire resistance, unlike, for example, obviously wood. It is completely heat resistant, so you can use them for outdoor pavings, but you could also use them for kitchen tops and vanity tops, where you can just lay something really hot in it and nothing's going to happen. Outdoor tiles from Atlas Concorde are all certified R11 A+B+C or PTV 36 plus wet and dry. So they're completely slip resistant certified. They don't include any volatile organic compounds, PVC, or formaldehyde within them. So this is just a very quick chart to show you that what I was saying before, that porcelain tiles are certified A1 in the fire resistance chart, whether obviously wood is classified D. So if I had to choose what to install on the outdoors, I would probably go with that. And the anti-slip certifications are obviously following the British standard. So we have the UK British pendulum for the United Kingdom, but obviously in if you have a project abroad, in other countries, we use the German ramp test method. So thanks to our porcelain manufacturing process, all of our, as I said before, all of our outdoor tiles are 36 plus, wet and dry, certified with the slider 55, which is what is required by the British standard 7976. So the British pendulum can be tested in dry and wet conditions, and the result has to be 36 plus in either condition. There are required 2 different rubber sliders to replicate the shod foot and the barefoot. So when you're looking for an anti-slip detail, you'd have to look at if it's a slider 55 or if it's a slider 96, depending obviously on the restrictions you have in the country you're designing the project. And here below, I just wanted to show you very quickly how you carry out the test itself. So you have this sort of mobile metal arm with a rubber slider, which is inserted on the bottom of it. And at the perpendicular to the surface itself, when it touches the surface, it's gonna obviously have some abrasion with the tile. It's gonna slow down the movement of the arm itself. And then it's gonna move this small lever on the left. You can see it. There's a meter indicating some numbers. And when the test is carried out, it has to stop to 36 or above. This means it is certified. So going on from here, all our porcelain tiles are certified R11, A plus B plus C. The R11 is indicative of the shot foot, and the A plus B plus C is indicative of the bare foot. So these standards are required by the DIN certifications of the ramp test method, which are the DIN 51130 and the DIN 51097. So going a little bit into more detail, how do you carry out these tests? So for the German ramp test method, the DIN 51130 certifies environments with high risk potential. And the test is carried out with a ramp, a technician walking on the ramp with work shoes, and on the ramp there is some engine lubricant oil. So when the inclination of the ramp gets ever higher, and at a certain point you'll have the technician which is going to slip. So the higher the inclination, it means that if the technician slips, the higher the inclination, the higher the result you're going to get. So if the technician slips at an R9, it means the inclination is not very high. It means it's a very high slip, potentially surface. Instead, when you go to R11, R12, it means it's a really, good anti-slip surface. So all outdoor tiles have to have a minimum of R11. And this is for the shot foot. Testing the barefoot, we have the DIN 51097, which tests obviously wet spaces. And the idea is that the test is carried out barefoot and the surface is with water. And the idea is the same. So the ramp goes up, and when the technician slides, you have the reading of the inclination and the result. So going from A to B to C, the certification gets higher. So C is the highest you can get. And for outdoor tiles, again, R11, C is what you're looking for an anti-slip certification. So eco-friendliness. Our company invests a lot in energy efficiency and obviously in eco-friendliness of the material. Our material is obviously recyclable and reusable. So just to show you very quickly how much our company is investing in environmental responsibility and in eco-friendliness. In the process of manufacturing porcelain, you use a lot of water, and our company manages to recycle 100% of it. We cut down CO2 emissions by 60% by having an in-house generator that develops energy for us, so we don't have to get it from the system. Our material during the manufacturing process, if it breaks, if something goes wrong, is all recycled, and it can also be recycled after the installation itself. Obviously, all the packaging, which is paper or plastic, can be recycled. And yeah, we just, with all these investments, we managed to reduce toxic emissions by also, 99% of hydrofluoric acid and nitrogen oxide in the atmosphere, because during the cooking process, there's a lot of gases released, and we managed to install a lot of filters in the chimney. So that's a big plus for Atlas Concorde. And all of this obviously leads to green certifications we can, give you if you need them. So we obviously have the Ceramics of Italy and the Made in Italy, which are quality certifications for us. Obviously, we're Italian, but we also have a lot of green certifications we can supply, sort of like the EPD, the PEF, or the LEED point certification. And we also have the UPEC certifications for French-speaking countries, and the ISO quality certifications and so on. If you require any special certification, we're most likely to achieve it if you need it for your project. So it's just a matter of asking, really. So outdoor porcelain pavers and where they can go. They can go, as I said before, they're resistant to chlorine and to salt, so they can go in beach resorts close to the sea, or you can use them to create swimming pools. Porcelain tiled pavers can go from 9mm thickness to 30mm thickness. This means they can also be installed for carriageable driveways or garden patios. So there is a big versatility of application for our material. The installation method is chosen according to the destination of use of the selected product. So going on, as I was saying before, we have the 9mm thickness, which is usually installed with adhesive, and it is meant for low traffic areas, i.e. Residential projects or small hospitality projects, balconies, walkways, and so on. If you're going to drive on top of the porcelain tile, or if you're going to carry heavy loads on the tile itself, it's better to use a 20mm thickness. So this particular thickness can be installed with a dry installation. This means it can be laid directly on grass, gravel, or it can also be installed with adhesive. They can be installed, obviously, on raised pedestals. The advantage of having a 20mm thickness or 2cm thickness tile is that it withstands really heavy loads. So the idea is, if you apply a point pressure exactly on one point on the tile, that tile is going to withstand 1,000 kilograms of weight. So it means it's really, really hard. Obviously, suitable for all outdoor areas, heavy traffic areas, driveways, and so on. If your project includes a very heavy duty area, we also have the 30mm thickness installation. So this is really up to you. This is just an option out there. Obviously, the thicker the tile, the heavier the weight load. So, depends on what you're designing, really. So this is just to show you very quickly on the various installation methods. So going from bottom to top, you have the gravel layer, a concrete layer, and a sloped screed, just to make the water, go away from the surface. Then there's a reinforced screed, which is going to absorb all the shocks from the surface itself. And then you're going to install the porcelain paver with the adhesive. So looking on a carriageable driveway, the only way of installing porcelain tiles is actually with adhesive, because the pressure has to be dispersed by the reinforced screed below it. And going on, we also have a dry installation of gravel. So if you look at the image, this is actually a very useful kind of installation, because you can drop the tile on the surface itself without gluing it. And if you're tired of the design, in a few years, you can just pick up the tile, cover the hole, and just relay them in another design. So going from here, you have obviously a hole dug in the ground. You have a geotextile layer in the hole to prevent from weeds coming up. And then over that, you have gravel. It's going to be all flattened out and pressed to make it completely flat. And then over that, you have a bed setting of very fine sand. And above that, on top, you have the 20mm or 30mm porcelain paver that, that's going to be laid as a flooring, and the grouting itself is going to be sand. So the floor is going to be completely stable, but still a little bit mobile if there's going to be heavy loads on it. Going on, there's also, for the 20mm and 30mm thickness ranges, you have the dry pedestal installation. This is very useful regarding maybe hospitality projects or very big outdoor projects where you have electricity cables or tubings going under it. We use this quite a lot, actually, in London. So obviously, the interesting part here is to have a sloped screed to drain the water below the raised floor. So porcelain tiles, what is another big advantage of using porcelain? The idea is that you don't have to quarry the material itself. It's all printed on the tile. There is a very, natural looking 3D texture on the tile itself. And you can have as many looks as you want regarding Atlas Concorde. So you can go from the plain white or gray look. You can go down to concrete, natural stone, natural wood. There's really a very, very big range of materials to choose from. Obviously, the advantage is you don't have to go and quarry the material itself, so it's also price competitive. This is just another quick range you can have with Atlas Concorde. You have the grip finish, which is very rough on the surface itself, but the surface is flat. There is also the availability of a more textured finish. So there's more of a 3D veined effect on the surface. So there's really a lot of choices for you up there. Talking about sizes in our outdoor range collection, you can go from a standard 22.5 by 22.5 small tile up to very big slabs that go up to 120 centimeters by 240 centimeters. So it's really a matter of design and what you prefer, but we have a very wide range you can choose from. Actually, obviously, in the last period, we've seen that there's been a very big increase in big slabs. So the 120 by 120 centimeter up to the 120 240 are actually very requested lately on the market. So every collection in Atlas Concorde has a whole load of different sizes, looks, and it has also special pieces which are standard. So we are a manufacturer, and we can do bespoke manufacturing for you if minimum quantities are respected. But we also have standard pieces, which you don't have to ask a bespoke manufacturing for, which I think is a good plus. And so we manufacture steps in a whole load of different thicknesses, widthness, wideness, and height. We also have special garden pieces, or we can have special pieces for swimming pools. So these pieces are actually cut to shape by a hydrojet with high pressure water and sand. So we can do grids, corners, and so on. So porcelain, and why is it that it is interesting in respect to natural materials? So let's have a quick look. Obviously, in terms of pricing, Atlas Concorde is around more or less at £20 per square meter, delivery included, whether natural stone can go around maybe £80 per square meter. Marble goes up to £500 per square meter. And, it's really, really price competitive. But the idea is that the technical characteristics is what really makes us win on the outdoors, because, natural stone actually changes color over time. It is porous and it absorbs water, so it will crack eventually. And it is sensible to salt and chemical agents. And, having a PTV resistance, it's very difficult to classify it, because you're going to have different kinds of blocks with the natural stone itself. Obviously, it is hard to clean unless you treat it. So you're going to have to, pay some more to treat it and pay the guys to come and do the job. Whether when you install porcelain tiles, you just have to lay them and the job is done. So wood is obviously highly flammable. It is very sensible to daily wear and tear and scratches. The worst thing, I believe, is it gets attacked by moss, mold, algae, and fungi, unlike porcelain tiles. And concrete, on the other side, doesn't have the aesthetic advantage that porcelain have. So we have more than 40 different looks, whether, concrete is more or less always the same. It suffers salt and chemical agents. It is porous unless you treat it, so you have a double job to do over there again. And it's quite hard to clean. So we're going to go and have a look very briefly on how you can apply porcelain pavers outdoors. So on this project in particular, which is called Galgorm Resort and Spa, it is a hospitality project, and our porcelain tiles have been laid, as I said before, directly on the gravel. So you have the geotextile layer, you have the gravel, you have the sand, and then the porcelain paver. This kind of application can be rethought during the year, so you can move everything around again and reset the outdoor. So it is a flexible installation method. And as you can see, I don't know if you can perceive it from the image, but it is a 3D texture. So this is a textured porcelain tile. It's got this 3D wavy look on top of it, which gives a little bit of movement to the design itself. Another project we have done here in London in Nine Elms is the Embassy Garden, which I think is being finished as we speak, or if it's not already finished. Anyway, it is a hospitality project, and you have this wonderful, pool between two buildings. It is a raised floor installation, so it is really easy to install. The idea is that with high-rise projects in balconies, you have the issue of wind lift effect. So what's going on here is that we had the issue of fixing the foot of the raised floor to the tile in a manner in which the wind lift effect wouldn't have, any issue on our tiles itself. The idea is that with the porcelain foot, we dug we carved a small area beneath the tile, and they got stuck together. So the porcelain is actually stuck to the foot itself. So the wind lift is going to be completely, annihilated. And yeah, this is a 45 by 90 centimeter tile, which has been installed in 2 centimeters. So it's stuck to the floor. Obviously, beneath, you're going to have all the tubes and wirings. If you're going to have to, if there's going to be an issue with the flooring, you can just pop up the tile, have a quick inspection, and just drop it down again. Very, very easy and simple. This is another project to show you our grids and special pieces for swimming pools. So we have the steps, the scalinos, the grids. Obviously, everything is PTV resistant. As you can see, as I said before, porcelain is waterproof, so you can also install it in swimming pools itself. And it is also resistant to chlorine. This is another project of a swimming pool. So obviously indoors and outdoors, it is not an issue. Here we have another issue of the salt. So with big waves and strong winds coming up from the sea, salt is going to drop on the porcelain tile. Obviously, there's not going to be any issue over there as well. And this is another project we made with a raised floor on a wood effect. Here, the designer decided to go for the raised floor because it's an area in which there's a lot of downpour of rain during the year. And yeah, this is a wonderful wood effect, giving a very warm texture to the restaurant. Going down to residential projects, obviously you can go in outdoors, but the outdoor finish can also go indoors, giving that it's PTV rated anti-slip. So in this particular residential project, we installed the outdoor tiles also indoors in the bathroom, especially in the shower area, in this very warm and natural wood look. The installation was also carried out with adhesive. Another project in where the designer decided to mix a wood effect and a stone effect, giving this sort of natural binding look with the environment around, because obviously they had to look at nature around. The installation is done with adhesive, and again, salt is not an issue. It is very easily cleanable, and overall very, very easy to lay down. So this is a contemporary villa we've done in Italy. This is just to show you again the resistance to chlorine and the advantage of low maintenance in porcelain tiles. It can be achieved in a whole load of different looks, and you can interchange the look between them and combine them to have a continuity of design between indoor and outdoor. Another project to show you that the look you can achieve from laying a tile within a pool. Actually, the water itself filters the light, so you're going to have a little bit of the design. So the person is going to perceive a little bit less of the surface print of the tile because of the water within the pool. But if you choose the right design, I am sure that you're still gonna appreciate the texture and the material that's installed within the pool itself. And again, a raised floor to make the water pour down and not stay on the surface when people are walking on the floor. And so, if you have any questions, I'm very, very happy to answer them. Obviously, the registration of the CPD will be online for the next few days. Me and my colleagues will be on the platform. We are based in London, so if you'd like to see any samples, just let us know. And it's been a pleasure having you here and taking your time to listen to me. And thank you for being here. That was good. I've been told that there's a question. 1 second. So are the tiles from Atlas Concorde matching among different environments, indoor and outdoor? Do you also manufacture slabs for worktops? So yeah, talking about porcelain tiles, the advantage of the Atlas Concorde environment is that you can use porcelain tiles for indoor application and outdoor application, and you can also use it for furniture. So you're going to have a continuity of design, for example, for sinks, tables, kitchen tops, vanity tops, flooring, walls, and outdoors as well. So the biggest slab goes up to 162 by 324 centimeters. You can have really big slabs or really small tiles, depending on the design you choose. I believe that's everything. And, thank you for being here.